Take a deep breath here. I guess I will start inside the box here. So I kind of did a visual for mine, but I brought a few things to help me. A strategy that I think is really important is popsicle sticks, especially for elementary. I have seen them used for taking roll. I do use them in my class. I just have like a can and have their names on it, pull it out. It does help with being fair with students and not calling on someone that's constantly raising their hands. So sometimes I will pull that out and use it. I also chose mental math as a strategy, one, because it helps with, as we've talked about before, cultural literacy, but it also works on academic language with kids, which is really important right now with CRTs and testing, and you can get them using the language that you want them to be knowing. Another strategy that I learned in my reading methods course was a graffiti wall. Essentially, it's kind of a group activity, but it can be used during a read aloud or during reading a story. You would really pause and have them draw something, and then you turn the paper out. You could use like a big sheet of paper. You could turn the paper, and it would go to the next person, and it just keeps kind of revolving around, and you're kind of building a story as you're reading the story, and you're helping to see what they're comprehending and what they're visualizing and predicting. Another one that I've used in my classroom is a 5-minute mingle. The kids might have a question on a 3x5 card. Give them all a question. They can walk around the room to music. You stop the music. They get together with a partner. They read their question. They answer their question. They would exchange cards, turn the music back on, and it's a movement activity similar to the brain-based learning. Okay. A nameplate. I think it's really important to get to know your students. I still have a really hard time with that myself. So you really want to try to maybe first few weeks of your classroom, you want to try to get to know who your students are. So maybe their names, some questions about them, what you like to do, where do you like to go, where have you been. That's something that they can create, and you can post it somewhere. Okay. Post-its. I started to use these more this year, especially with something like math. You can gather information. Everyone can have one. They can write down the information. You can also use it to categorize. Okay, so if you're working with maybe like bar graphs, this week I was working with bar graphs and had them write down their favorite. I think we worked on favorite food. So then I had them, post that on the wall. We could organize it. It also helps with movement. And then power teaching. What I've really gotten from that is that it helps with motivating kids. I mean, that's really important. I think motivation is super important. And then also gestures. I've learned more this year. It's really important to tie the learning to some kind of a movement or something that they can internalize. So those two things I've taken from power teaching. My insights, I think that eye contact is really important. Okay? You want to try to make sure that you're looking at everyone in the room, and sometimes that's really hard, especially if there's one over in the corner that's hiding out and misbehaving. Rule of 3, asking 3 questions, maybe of varied depth or difficulty. I think it is a good assessment. I mean, if you ask 3 questions on the same topic and everyone's staring at you with blank faces, then it's probably time to move on. Wait time. It's been mentioned before. This should probably be more like 5 to 7 seconds. I still have a hard time with that one. You need to give kids time to process, especially second language learners. Avoiding power struggles. Okay, you want to do less of this and more looking for ways to connect with kids. You want to try to look for turning points. In that movie with Sidney Poitier, that turning point was when whatever they did in that, put something in the garbage can, he came back in and he really changed his attitude, and I think he changed the dynamic in the classroom with the students. Music helps stimulate the brain. Even those brain gems, music is really beneficial. Kids love to be moving around. I've really come to believe in the classroom that an effective teacher is an effective manager. of the classroom. I don't really think you can teach if you're not effectively managing the classroom. You really have to have that in order to teach. Keep discussions open-ended, because we want to try to have as much participation as we can in the classroom. And yeah, I think that's everything. So, thank you.